Hello, welcome today to thank you for your patience. I see that there's a few of you already waiting. And so we had some small technical difficulties that you don't need to know about. And I'm really excited today. Real Life, Real Women has a wonderful guest called Mary-Eve Lord. Good morning or good afternoon, Mary-Eve. How are you?
I'm really, really good. Thank you very much, Sandy. I'm so glad to be here with you. I love you so much, and it's my first interview in English.
Yes, and I really honor that because I know that it's definitely outside of your comfort zone. So thank you for accepting the invitation and going out of your comfort zone to be here today.
Yeah, but it's because of you only. You're so sweet and full of compassion and so calm. And you know what? We should talk about you today.
Cute. Well, we will, in a sense, talk about me. We'll talk about us because what I wanted to start with was to kind of back up a bit and go back maybe a few years when we first met, actually. Oh, you're beeping.
Sorry.
That's okay. So if we go back a few years, right? We've known each other for a few years now. And I know that so much has shifted for you since then. And I was curious if you wanted to start by maybe sharing a bit of how you felt back then and maybe how you think people kind of perceived you then. Because then we'll fast forward to today and be able to paint a different picture.
Well, it's not that far away. It's like maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yep.
It seems like it's so far away,
A lifetime ago.
Yeah. I can't even really remember how I was feeling at that moment. But I remember that I was really, I was in my head. I was trapped in my head, always trying to control my environment. I was really in survival mode, always judging.
Yourself first, right?
Sorry?
You were judging yourself first.
I was judging myself. I was judging others. I was judging situation. I was judging everything. And I was kind of a pessimist person.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look pessimist. I was kind of fake smiling, and people who didn't really know me wouldn't know that I was a pessimist person. But I could see bad or negative in everything, And it was it was to protect me, in fact.
It was to protect yourself,
If something's bad happened, I don't have to fear that something bad is gonna happen, So it's kind of a distortion of the head. So I was trapped in that. I was really sad, always controlling. And one day life was so heavy. It's just like something has to change. Because I was like 30, but I was feeling like I was 60, I was so tired. Life wasn't making sense. And that's it. Because controlling your life all the time is so
exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting. I was very good at it. Sometimes I would like to go back just for always be, when you have, like right now, we're in the present moment.
Yeah.
Maybe like yesterday, I was thinking about the interview and I was like beginning to feel a little stressed, about it. And I was like trying to think like 1, 2, 3 steps forward.
Yeah, a few steps ahead, trying to plan
but this is so exhausting. But I was living all my life that way, always planning. So
what shifted? Because at one point, I think you made the choice to reconnect to the essence of who you are and to let go of all that control, all of that fear, all that insecurity, or whatever that was.
I think that I was so tired. There's been like a natural letting go of some, and I was so tired that I think like the mind just stopped working. at a certain moment. And at this moment, also I choose to leave my job.
You left your job.
I left my job and I start to work for myself.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a decision from the mind. Absolutely not. Really. So it was from my heart. It was really like from the inside. There was like no other possibility at this moment. And I think that by doing this, it gives me like a concrete example of what life can be if I'm just following this by intuition or
your intuition. Yes.
Yes.
So if I recap, before you were kind of controlling, you had a job, but you were always judging, kind of always in that control mode. So very kind of rigid and constricted. Yeah. And then at one point, for some random reason, your heart said, leave your job, start your own thing, do your own thing. And you said, okay. And that's what you did.
Exactly.
And that gave you a tangible, true, concrete example of what life could be when you listen to the voice of the heart.
Exactly.
And then since then, like I've watched you blossom. I remember the very first time that I met you, you were kind of like this small animal that was, kind of scared, a bit on the defensive, and today you're so open, you're radiating, you're having these, you've met someone in your life. Back then you had someone as well, but now you were, I think, really in a heart-to-heart connection with this man. And you're living a very different life. Your business is thriving, so much so that if you're okay with me talking about it, you're working on an international project right now. And and correct me if I'm wrong, but this project is going to assist people internationally in radiating and shining on the web.
Yes.
You want to talk a bit about that?
I'm gonna try.
All right.
It's my first time talking about it in English, so we'll see. Well, it's not that, we have access to all the technologies that we want right now. Mm-hmm. We can communicate and share with anybody, even like in space. Like astronauts are now making Facebook Live.
Really?
While they're in space, yeah. So you can go on NASA Facebook page or anything. You can see all that. So there's no limits. But we are still creating limits because of our way of thinking and our way of separate ourselves from ourselves, but also separate ourselves from others. So
would you say like we're separating ourselves? Do you mean in the sense that we're hiding behind our computer, or we're separating ourselves based on language, location, country,
all of that?
Religious, like separations, is that all of that? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're kind of limiting how much we can shine online.
Exactly. And for me, this is the real essence of the web and the internet. It's total freedom.
Yes.
We can have access to this total freedom. So this project it's not really, there's some stuff to be working on, but
oh yeah, it's still very young, but it's a beautiful project.
Yes, but my project would be to create relations with international, like web specialists or marketing specialists or communication specialists, and really to connect with other people, connect to others' culture, and really go into the human part of what is to communicate on the web. Because right now, what we mostly see on the web is really based on one way of communicating or one way of making marketing. And I think that to go a little bit more in the human sphere of what is to communicate, what is to shine, would bring a lot of expansion to companies, but also to humanity,
mm-hmm.
and probably to the web.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's clear.
It makes sense, and anyone who knows you knows that you are the expert that I know, the best expert that I know in terms of social media and, you know, marketing online, and you bring a whole new depth and dynamic to marketing online. You're not trying to strategize and plan and think. You really assist entrepreneurs in better defining the message and the essence of the business in order to really shine online. And that's, I think, is where you're a magician as far as that's concerned, because you really are fantastic with entrepreneurs and helping them with that.
Thank you. It's just that one day it's been clear for me that we're been taught to build or create our image, considering all the external environment, the competitors, I don't know, where it's like we've been taught to look at what's on the external like side and to create something from that. But if we want to shine, we have to like start from the inside of the essence of the business, of the founders or of the employees. I think that it doesn't make sense for me to build a brand or a website on the basis of the competitors.
Yeah, you don't want to define yourself compared to someone else.
Exactly. Thank you for helping.
Yeah, no, but I understand it. And, you know, it's funny because if, you know, we're on the Real Life Romance blog, and if we talk about, you know, being real and really being, you know, these different women, and everyone has their own experience. And it's only recently, if you recall, that we were exchanging about how you yourself even tried to kind of a bit control that image online, right?
Yeah. And one day I just realized that that's what I was saying earlier. We have all this technology. There's no limits. We can like share, communicate with anyone we want. But the only difficulty right now is for people to go inside of them and really show in authenticity, in all vulnerability.
Yes,
they really are. You cannot shine if you're not showing the stars you are.
Yes, and
so for me, it just doesn't make sense anymore. So I can go back.
Right. So, once you come that way, you can't go back. And all of a sudden,
for those because I just finished a normal program.
Yes.
Related to the web and social media, and for those who participated in this program, we're talking a lot about it. And we're also talking about all the technical stuff around it. But it was amazing to see all people once they just welcome what they really are. And when they come back to the, you know, the sparkles of the first inspirations they got when they thought about their business. Because I see so much entrepreneurs, like they have an idea, it's like there's sparkles everywhere, like fireworks, and then they go into marketing plans and all of that is just dying.
It just weighs it down, right?
Yeah, exactly, because they kind of disconnect of this first amazing idea just to plaire.
Just to please.
Like all the external world.
And to keep up with the Joneses, as we say, right? To just be like everybody else.
Exactly.
We end up having all of these Me Too businesses that are just copying one off of the other. And I was part of that program, and we should definitely add the link to that program if ever someone is interested, because there is so much content there, and it's so rich and so powerful. So to be able to share that with the community, if ever someone is looking for, you know, a very user-friendly approach. It's only in French though, right? Yes.
Yes.
We'll have to plan an English one soon.
Yes, maybe.
To really assist people in shining and using the tools that are available online, and no longer not hiding behind the screen and trying to create. And that's, I think, a problem that we see a lot with the younger generation, trying to be someone they're not, or trying to control their image and not showing everything. And I feel like that's been something that's been powerful both for you and even for myself, in not hiding reality or not hiding certain things. You know, there are certain topics, well, you don't talk about that. You know, you don't talk about the fact that I lost a child, let's say, or those kinds of things. Whereas it's part of our journey, it's part of our process, and it's what makes us so authentic. And it's beautiful because that's what you used to kind of control, and now you're really shining and opening up the doors for an international community to come together and shine and share, and everyone can communicate their uniqueness.
Exactly.
Very beautiful, very beautiful.
Thank you.
So it's been really great. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you so much for joining us today. Was there anything else you would have liked to add?
I don't know. It's your interview.
Well, I really, I wanted to share, if I can, one last thing that I think I'd love to talk about is really just to share how it's possible for anyone to really be able to make that shift. There have been times where I've seen you very frustrated and angry and just not understanding what was going on. And to watch you kind of shift from that space to blossom and be so open and so willing and, to just assist people with what it is that they're doing, but also you just shining, I think is a testament to how amazing it is when we truly decide to follow the heart.
Yeah, to engage towards ourselves.
Yes, because that wasn't always easy for you, was it? To like, if you recall when you were really stuck in that frustration, how did you take that next step and not go back to where you were before?
Well, I think that even if it was hard and difficult, it was a bit easier than before. So there was always like an upgrade in the process, if we can say that way. And it's that just to welcome, like for the first, because when I was so rigid, so trapped in my mind, I couldn't feel anything. So yes, it was difficult to for the first time of my life to really feel all these sensations and emotions of anger and sadness, but for the first time of my life, I was allowing myself to feel. So it's kind of, I have this image of when we were young and playing in the winter, playing outside in the winter for so long that we couldn't feel our feet. I don't know if that happened to you.
Yep.
But we're still playing and we don't care. And when we go home and it begins to fall up and it hurts so much, you know, and we were crying and everything. But it's also becoming warmer. So it's kind of a feeling of like there's a suffering, but there's also like a relief of, yes, it's becoming warmer. So I don't know if the image.
That's a beautiful image. It's kind of like you were numb and now all of a sudden comfort, but you're feeling so much more. So it's, that you're going in the right direction, if we can call it as such.
Exactly. And right now everything is easier.
Wonderful. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Everything. Yeah. Your business is thriving, your relationships, your family, like everything is going so much better, right?
Yes.
And not necessarily better, but more authentically.
Sure. And right? That's why there's more lightness. And because I think that it's the thing that makes the life easy. It's not being ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so heavy when you have to put on one mask and another and just play a role. Whereas when you're free to be you, it's lighter. It's more fun. There's joy. There's love.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been such a lovely conversation. And I love you dearly as well. Have a wonderful weekend. And we'll definitely share the link for those of you who speak French and who would like to know a bit more about Mario's program.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.